The birth of fair trade dates back to the Second World War. It was in the United States in 1946 that Edna Ruth Byler began selling crafts imported directly from women artisans in Puerto Rico and Akron, Pennsylvania. She then opened her first store in 1958, today known under the name of 10,000 Villages. Later on in England, the first fair trade organization, Helping by Selling, was founded by Oxfam. The first fair trade shop in Europe opened its doors 4 years later in 1969 in Brooklyn, Netherlands. By 1968, the Second United Nations Conference on Trade and Development launched the slogan, "Trade, not aid." The first fair trade certification system, Max Havelaar, came to be in the late 80s in the Netherlands. This system was the first to offer a label and certification by a third party, and coffee was the first product to be certified. Since then, fair trade has grown significantly and has contributed to reduce poverty in developing countries. Fair trade improves the quality of life for producers in developing countries, not through charity, but by setting fair prices and improved terms of trade. It differs from the conventional trade model because it's based on a partnership between producers and consumers and introduces the principle of product traceability. It aims to fight poverty and increase empowerment of farmers. The farmers can therefore export their goods at a fairer price, one that's based on the costs of sustainable production and not on the volatility of world markets. Fair trade is based on certain principles that ensure stable and fair prices for producers, while enabling pre-financing when required and guaranteeing decent and fair working conditions. In addition, it facilitates long-term business relationships and the preservation of the environment. It also offers an additional fair trade premium to invest in communities. Coffee is one of the most traded commodities in the world. About 400 billion cups of coffee are consumed every year. Coffee is grown by approximately 25 million farmers around the world and requires intensive labor with often very little financial returns.
In the beginning of the years 2000, we saw a lot of farmers going away from growing coffee because they weren't making money for it anymore. So we knew that something had to be done, and fair trade stepped in to try to organize the system, to create a system where coffee growers could get better money for the coffee that they were growing. So the fair trade movement came in at the right time, making sure that a third party was establishing good values and a good system to support the coffee grower environmentally, economically, and socially foremost.
Fair trade goes well beyond certification. It brings profound change to society and values all and everyone's work.
Puisqu'il favorise la démocratie, la coopération, tout ça, j'ai rencontré beaucoup de groupes de femmes qui nous racontaient leurs histoires, comment depuis 5 ans, 10 ans, leur vie avait changé parce que leur coopérative faisait partie du mouvement de commerce équitable qui était certifié et que ça favorisait leur participation. Puis ça a été aussi vraiment très inspirant en fait de voir le changement dans leur vie parce que ça a amené un changement au niveau de la mentalité et de la participation de ces femmes-là.
The Fair Trade Certification System verifies the supply chain from beginning to end, from the farmers in developing countries to packaging the final product in places where Fair Trade certified products are sold. Fair Trade Canada is the only Canadian representative of the Fair Trade International Organization, and its Fair Trade certified mark is the most recognized ethical mark in Canada.
We are really the only one independently third-party auditing these things. So it's not a self-evaluation, it's not an industry-driven mark, it's not, the standards are being created around the commodities characteristics themselves and the type of workers that are involved with it. So is it a cooperative, or with tea we have plantations and we have hired labor, contract labor standards. When you try and go through all the processes that we go through from a producer standpoint, and even to the extent that we do our actual physical audits to understand if one container came in and went here and it went there, and checking all those points and all of those points being registered with us to ensure that suddenly on the labeled product it's not the equivalent of 5 containers. Very, very basic in one aspect, but very, very lengthy and expensive process.
By purchasing Fair Trade certified products, we all contribute to improving the living conditions of farmers and workers who are most disadvantaged, and we encourage the protection of the environment.
To trade something, you need two ends, and to be successful in this, you need to be partnering. So we're partnering with fair trade, we're partnering with the growers, but we're also partnering with consumers to make sure that the wheel is turning and this is all going in the same direction.
Ça change quelque chose dans la vie de gens dans les pays producteurs de café. Et puis, ça peut changer à plusieurs niveaux, mais ce petit effort-là qu'on fait, nous, peut avoir un impact immense là-bas, en fait, en bout de la ligne, puis à long terme. Donc, il faut vraiment garder ça à l'esprit, puis contribuer, en fait.